Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Fat Feminist Witch podcast, the show where I do a little ranting, raving, and wand waving. Today, I'm talking with Deb Castellano, the author of Glamour Magic, the Witchcraft Revolution to Get What You Want, about glamour, revolution, and of course, a little bit of world domination. Now, before I get into the interview with Deb, which is great and really lighthearted and really fun, so I highly recommend you keep listening, I want to address something kind of related to the white supremacist rally that happened in Charlottesville recently. Something I've been seeing by a lot of pagan and witchy, and especially anyone who's kind of Norse-related practitioners, I've been seeing these posts about the swastika and how it originally was a Hindu symbol. It's still used in a lot of parts of Asia to denote the location of temples and things like that. And a lot of people have thought, this is a symbol that needs to be reclaimed. This is a pagan symbol that we have ownership of, and we should be able to reclaim it and use it. And this is something that I strongly disagree with. And part of that is because of what happened in Charlottesville. What we saw there were actual Nazis wearing swastikas, marching through the street with, of course, culturally appropriated Polynesian decor, which is funny, but, not funny. We saw that this symbol is still something very, very powerful for them, something that they draw a lot of incredibly hateful, negative energy from, and something that they use to project that negative energy back out too. It is still a symbol of hatred, of racism, of, homophobia, transphobia. Jewish people weren't the only ones killed during the Holocaust, although they were hurt and killed and captured in the greatest numbers, of course, but people who were disabled, people of Romani descent, people who stood up to the Nazis, people who were gay or lesbian, people who just didn't fit in. These are people who were also attacked during this time by the Nazis. And so using this symbol, I think, is just a way to make that idea mainstream, to make people think that it is okay to think like this, to make people think it is allowed. And I firmly disagree with that, which is why I don't disagree with reclaiming these symbols. I disagree with reclaiming these symbols. I disagree with using them in spirituality and magic. I disagree that the swastika is an important pagan symbol that we need to reclaim, especially if your argument is that it is a Hindu symbol. Hindu is a closed culture and religion. I mean, if you're white, you shouldn't be reclaiming that anyways. That's not your choice. But I think trying to reclaim something that's still in use by Nazis is absurd, and it is offensive, and it is hurtful. Symbols like that are never going to be on my blog or website, and they are not allowed on my blog or website or on my Facebook, any of my social media. They are not welcome in my spirituality whatsoever, and I'm not going to argue about it with you guys. I'm not going to argue about, what about other offensive symbols? Should we just scrap everything? I can't answer that question for you. It's up to you if you want to look like a Nazi, I guess. And if you want to take the chance to hurt other people who've been affected by Nazism or any sort of hate or prejudice, because that's really what the symbol stands for to everyone, except for white supremacists, of course. And even then, it really means the same thing. If you're willing to hurt those people over this symbol, this symbol that you're just willing to throw around to hurt human beings with, or just at the expense of those human beings, I think that is just as bad, because you think that your feelings about the symbol and your right to reclaim that symbol is worth more than the feelings of these marginalized people who are affected by this movement the most. So the swastika is not a pagan symbol you need to reclaim. It's not something anyone needs to reclaim. And I don't support anyone reclaiming it as a pagan symbol, especially not any white people in North America and Europe. I mean, no, absolutely not. So I just wanted to say that. You guys know that I'm in Canada, and so all I've really been doing is watching the news in abject horror. I'm shocked, but not shocked at how many white supremacists and Nazis there are in the US right now. I'm hurt that this is a problem again. I've met people who have tattoos from concentration camps. They're still alive, and Nazis are marching in the street again, and it's sad and it's frustrating. And demonstrations are starting to pop up around Canada as well. And if you are going to counter-protest these demonstrations, because I doubt I have any Nazis listening, I hope not anyways. If you are a Nazi and you like my show, you're not welcome here and I don't want you. Sorry, not sorry. But if you are going to any of these demonstrations, whether you're in Canada or the US, I really hope you guys stay safe. Know that I've got a candle lighting for you. I'm thinking of you all the time. I'm hoping you guys stay safe. I hope you all make it home afterwards. And I'm proud of you for fighting back, because this is something worth fighting against. Okay, before this gets a little bit too sad, I'm going to be talking about Deb Castellano, about her new book, Glamour Magic. And like I said, we mentioned glamour, revolution, and world domination. Glamour is not just a fashion statement. It's not just something you put on your body. It's an energy that you exude, and it can help you in your magic. It can help you in what Deb calls your great work, and it can help you realize who you really are and show that side to the world a little bit more. So here it is, my interview with Deb Castellano, the author of Glamour Magic, which is in stores right now. You can already get it, so go out and get it, and check the description in the podcast. And I will be putting the links there so you can get a copy of the book and find Deb's website. Enjoy the interview, everybody. So thank you so much, Deb, for coming on the show today. I'm really excited that you got in touch with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I felt like we should be friends.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I looked at your website, when I read your email, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can get behind all of this stuff. Like, I loved everything. I love your blog posts, and the few that I got a chance to read when I was checking you out. We seem to have a lot in common as far as combining, like, witchcraft and magic and our ethics, and like helping to move people forward, especially, women or femmes. But
definitely,
I really like how dedicated you are to using magic and witchcraft to help people further themselves.
Thank you.
So, Glamour Magic, has it come out already? Or is it about to come out? Okay.
It just came out last week. That's my book with Llewellyn, and yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, Glamour Magic, the witchcraft revolution to get what you want. It looks fantastic. My book club is really excited, and everybody said the same thing I did about the cover of the book, which is that it's like stunning.
Oh, I feel like my editor, Alicia, just reached into my head and pulled out what I wanted. And I'm not a visual thinker, which is why in my earlier magical career, I struggled a bit because it was always so much visualization. I'm like, I don't know. And, she did like this mood board for the art department, and then they like collaborated. And I'm like, this is everything I wanted it to be.
It's so fantastic. The figs especially like really stick out. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But the colors are really great, and it's definitely got, I feel like it's a great precursor to your book because it's definitely glamorous, but also like a little bit spooky and very witchy. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, the more I look at it, the more I see what the art department did, like with the figs and the lilies of the valley, and almonds are sprinkled somewhere in there. Yeah. And you have to like look at it long enough to see it all. I'm like, wow, they really, really put their heart into it.
Yeah, I know. I was really like, I was obsessing over the cover of the book a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, it's just so gorgeous.
I kind of secretly, desperately want the necklace that's on the cover.
I know, me too. It's amazing. It's so flashy and so witchy. I really love it.
Yes. Yeah,
the book has definitely got some glamour to it. And actually, I laughed. I thought we should be friends again because I noticed that a lot of the little blurbs about your book are from a lot of authors that I've interviewed on the show before and that I get along really well with, like Lasara Firefox Allen, Natalie, who wrote, what was it? Oh, Magical Destinations of the Northeast, and even Jackie Smith, who I'm slightly obsessed with.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. Natalie and I are actually neighbors.
No way. That's so cool.
For real. I mean, we were introduced by Anne, who does Witches and Pagans magazine and Pagan Square. And I remember I was like, I need some more people to work with me on this. And she's like, you need to meet Natalie. Natalie and I start talking. We literally live 2 blocks away from each other. We get crepes for lunch sometimes.
That's so awesome. Natalie's so cool.
Yeah, she's great.
That's awesome. That's really fantastic. I love seeing like all these witches that collaborate together and work together. It's neat. It was really neat. I was like, yeah, I definitely want to have her on the show. I'll just collect you all like trading cards.
Yes, that was something I really enjoyed, was getting to talk to all these great witches to work with on this, and that was really exciting, and they were so supportive and so nice, and it's really helpful to talk to people who have gone before you in terms of like they have a couple books out, so they're kind of like, you need to do this or that, and because you kind of don't know. I mean, Llewellyn's so great. They give us like a very extensive new author packet, but at the same time, you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and everyone in your life like, I don't know either, dude.
That's so funny. That's awesome. I've heard before that Llewellyn is really, they're really helpful for brand new writers, and like they're always looking for new writers and new books, and they get a lot of people started with their first books a lot from Llewellyn. Were they the only ones you reached out to with your book, or did they just happen to pick you up?
They were my first choice because they're one of the oldest publishers in the country, and there's a lot of sort of mystique that goes with that, and I'm so glad I did. I was writing for their annuals prior to my full book, and my editor just really did such a great job to help pull this together and make it a reality, and to she was firm but fair, I think is how you describe it. She'd be like, we need to have more of this or less of that, or we need to know why we're even doing this. And it really helps to have someone who is so experienced in the field to be able to help guide you. Yeah,
absolutely. And they've been publishing some really great more modern takes on witchcraft lately, and I've been really, really impressed with the authors that they're publishing and stuff. I am so excited for Glamour Magic. We've decided that we're definitely going to read it in our book club in the next couple of months.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, we're really pumped about it. It really fits in with what we do in our club, which is we read books about magic to help us further ourselves with magic and, accomplish our goals and become our best selves. And your book seems to have a lot of really great advice about this. Glamour especially is kind of like, it's kind of a fun term that almost has these kind of conflicting ideas to it. On one hand, you've got like beautiful glamour that has kind of an edge to it, but at the same time, it's something that is always relegated to being, kind of demure or girly. So what exactly is it that is so revolutionary about glamour or embracing your glamorousness?
So first off, I have to take a quick side trip. I love that you said best self. I talk about best self versus most authentic self all the time. I'm not into most authentic because that's usually a jerk, but your best self, that's what you're really trying to do.
Yeah, my most authentic self would no doubt be like, living out in the woods in the mud and eating berries. Like... Never talking to another human being ever again. That's
Might
not really
be under a bar somewhere.
Yeah. I would bail out on this entirely if I was being totally authentic.
So, what makes glamour revolutionary? I love that, we can talk about this together as feminists because glamour is the tool of the oppressed.
Yeah.
When you really get down to brass tacks about glamour, it's how women, people of color, people who come from a sexual minority, people who don't identify with a binary gender, usually there's other aspects that are kind of difficult for you to overcome as well. Usually socioeconomic aspects that go with that.
Yeah.
And this is how you skate past them. This is sort of the secret passage.
And it's definitely that word is hard now. It's definitely revolutionary to live outside that kind of, outside of the status quo and the norm, for sure. Especially now.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, it's been a week.
It's been a rough one on the internet. I've been freaking out on people all day.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it sounds, what I am really passionate about with glamour is that it sounds so trivial. People are quick to be like, oh, that's chick shit, that's Sephora crap, that's stuff that I don't need to do. But this was how, like, in the Middle Ages, you got things done.
Yeah.
You didn't have social media, and now you do. So you can just put it all together. Like, you're like a rock star now. You can really make things happen.
Yeah, anyone can become a rock star now with the internet. It's really intense.
Right. And, but it's not, people are quick to look at the surface part, which let's not dismiss. Because that is an important factor to this, but it's what makes you, which sounds very Sesame Street. But that being said, I mean, people who become, famous in the arts, they're not just good at their craft. They're not just good looking. There's a million good looking people who are good at their craft.
Yeah.
It's what makes them interesting and exciting to others. That is the root of glamour.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how you present it.
Yeah, and it's never just one thing.
No, it isn't, because you're kind of juggling all these knives. It's your craft. It's, what makes you relatable to other people, what makes you not like other people. There's all this stuff going on that you're constantly kind of moving and shifting around to try to get to your goals.
Yeah, so glamour's not just fashion. It's not just something you put on the outside.
No, like I said, there are lots of people who are pretty and, who present nicely, and, that doesn't necessarily make you a forerunner in your field or what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. You only get so far on looks.
Yeah, and even on talent as well. It's how it all comes together. A lot of it is, you. So, like, my friend Gordon White, would say that I was sort of the occultist Julie Powell, from the Julia Project, and that's sort of my thing, that I'm like, no, we're going to work like 20 hours a day, we'll figure it out. People don't think of that with glamour, like they think glamour is like very Kardashian and very like, oh, you get a stylist and whatever. I'm like, no, I don't know how to do any of this, but, we're going to make it work.
Yeah, as someone who can barely brush their own hair, I feel that.
Right.
So, glamour, and even in the terms that we're talking about, it sounds like it's only women. Is glamour only for women, for female witches, or is this something that everybody can learn to use for their magic?
No, not at all. While I personally identify as a femme witch, I believe with all of my little heart that this is for everyone. I think, if we're looking at, let's start with boys. Boys are taught that they can throw like money and status at things and not have to worry about being charming, being whatever. But if you're not a boy who has a lot of money and status to throw around, you need this. If you are someone who does not identify as a gender, you need this to be able to camouflage as needed in the world, and when to be like, ta-da, guess what we're doing today?
That's awesome.
Right.
That's fun. So how did you start to figure out that you are glamorous and that you have your own glamour that you can use in your magic?
I started talking about it. I looked back a while ago, somewhere around 2011, mostly because no one was talking about it, but you saw it in the movies all the time. Anytime there was a witch, they're changing their hair color, they're, changing their eye color, they're becoming a different person. And I'm like, okay, so that's not going to happen. But if there's this idea that we could do something with it, what aren't we doing? Why is no one doing this?
Yeah, where's the real life version?
Right. And so I started really thinking about that. I'm like, okay, part of it is learning how to stand out when you need to stand out and camouflage when you need to camouflage and figuring out what to do when. And I feel as a Gen XY cusp myself, we kind of weren't taught that. Yeah. To a certain extent. Like my mother's generation certainly was. She knows when to shut up and when to make a fuss, but that is not a natural skill set I possess.
No, same.
And going beyond even that, like, how do you kick open a door when you need to? How do you get the attention of someone who could potentially help you with what you're trying to accomplish? How do you get your spouse, your best friends, your mother, your children to be like, oh, okay, we're going to go along with this, whatever project you're trying to accomplish here, because we believe in you.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing people don't realize. When you've got these great works, there's always many someones standing behind you doing dishes, cleaning up your snot because, it's been like 4 weeks and nothing's happening, reminding you need clean hair,
yeah.
all of these little things that you really need a lot of help with. It's very hard to do a revolution by yourself.
Oh my God, it's impossible.
Right.
And that's a way harder lesson to learn than I feel like it should be.
It is, because we're taught, I think in an American culture that it's this whole bootstrapping crap where it's like, you can do it yourself. You can, sort of, when you decide to set out to do something, sure. Like, I ran a convention. I never run a fashion show or a convention, and I decided I could do that.
But you can't do that plus 5 other things you've never done.
Right, exactly. And I had a lot of people helping me, and I needed that. I needed their help to be able to move it forward. I needed people who were going to put up with this.
So is part of glamour magic reaching out and finding yourself a glamorous squad of witches? Because I'm down with that idea.
Absolutely. You need your glam squad, who are going to be like, all right, I guess we're doing flyers at the club tonight, so let's get it going, whatever, or...
Everyone wear black.
Yes, and we're all going to Facebook or, whatever. And the more you can get a team with you, the more you can get things done.
Oh, gosh, that sounds like so much fun now.
Right?
Fighting the patriarchy just got exciting.
Right? Because you can wear lip gloss and, really cute boots. And, you've got all your glam witches. And maybe you all dress as handmaids, And,
I'm so down with that.
I love that. I am looking into that, not just for Halloween, but for every rally, every whatever I can get to. I want to have my now sign with keep abortion legal dressed as a handmaid. I think that would be amazing.
Hell yeah. I'm really considering it for Halloween. I've got an antique red cape, and I just need to make the rest of the outfit. I'm considering it. Because I'm hoping there's going to be millions of them.
Etsy is full of the bonnet. For anyone out there looking to do this, the bonnet pattern is there. You can get it and do it.
I'm writing it down right now.
And I love that. And the more you can do stuff like that, art is resistance, it's a way to show, to fight against the mainstream in a way that will take longer to get your ass thrown in jail, And sometimes you have to think like that. Sometimes you have to think how can I make as much noise as possible before, I'm arrested for civil disobedience,
So let's be real here, Deb. Are you really planning to take over the world? Because there's lots of world domination talk in your book. And I mean, I respect that. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just clarifying for everyone out there.
Everyone to dream big.
I really like that your book is funny.
I do have that's what my other mother, my Dianic guru, she's like, you're funny. I'm like, you've known me for like 20 years, lady. She's like, but you're really funny in the book. All right, good. I feel like world domination is big and requires a lot of influences, and you have to go outside your 6 degrees of separation. I feel you can do a lot in your little corner of the web within those 6 degrees.
You can reach pretty far now with the internet, even, especially like activist style. You can connect with activists all over the world over the internet. It's really amazing.
Totally. And I mean, it's a great opportunity to really connect and to really get shit done. I mean, and I'm really for that.
I am too. I love reaching out to other witches online. Like it's become my new favorite thing. I never thought I started practicing Wicca in the 90s when the internet was just becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And the internet made witchcraft like way scarier and less pleasant sometimes.
Yeah,
but lately
definitely.
I feel like the internet is like my coven is the internet.
You know what? Part of it is I feel we've become very Instagrammable. Yeah. And I love that. I love witches of Instagram. I love seeing everyone doing their thing and presenting it so prettily.
I love it. Like flower petals everywhere and big crystal chunks and laying out their tarot cards and their manicures and stuff. I'm all about it.
It feels like the best part of the 90s again.
I know. It's all coming back. It's so great. It's all coming back, but with a whole bunch of new kids that don't remember it. So it's kind of weird. But it's still really great. Yeah. But yeah, the online witch community is really, I'd say, is really, really glamorous lately. Are there any modern witches out there that you follow online that you can recommend to other people that exemplify this revolutionary idea of magical glamour?
Yes. Oh, gosh. Definitely on Insta, I really like, I'm just trying to get their names so that way people can actually, find them because they're great. It's Emma.Eldridge and her sister, Gidget Gravedigger.
That's awesome.
I love them. We blog together sometimes, and they're fantastic. There's just so much pretty stuff going on, and probably also my friend Shantala. She's a Shantala mermaid actress on Insta.
Oh, professional mermaid.
Yeah, she is. She came to my booth at a Philly Pagan Pride, and she was literally like the lady in red. And I was like, oh my God, we're all like pawing at her, being like, take us to Fairyland. She's like, dude, I live in Jersey,
Oh my God, that's love. Yeah, I feel like mermaid magic is it's getting so popular, and I'm just not sick of it, and I'm never going to be sick of it.
No, that and unicorns. I'm like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, please more rainbow gradient and glitter in witchcraft.
Yes,
the days of glitter in witchcraft need to come back, because as long as it's not something I have to put into the ground or in the water or anything, I feel glitter in everything.
Yes.
All of my spells, man, like mojo bags, glitter.
Well, you wanted to if you want to try to be sort of witchy about, besides the fact that we're all magpies and we love shiny things, it's you're reflecting your intention, and I love that.
You can also use it for color magic, or just I have witchy glitter that I bought at Halloween time that's like witch colors, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is just magic and witchy.
I love it. I love Halloween, at Michael's and Target, and yes, picking through for the best stuff for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's where I got my big chunky glitter, and everyone who orders something from my shop definitely gets a glitter bomb. So.
Yeah, I do flower petals because I got hollered at a few times for the glitter. But
the only people that get mad about glitter are people with kids.
Yes. Because it's just everywhere. You can't contain it.
No, I buy chunkier glitter now. But
well,
that's as far as
like
I'm
a
going.
very reasonable compromise.
Yeah, that's as far as I'm going with that. So let me get back on my topic here. I get off topic a lot. I hope that's okay.
Oh no, I love it. I love it.
And I hope everyone out there is good and used to it by now. So, in your book, as you're describing, how you can use your glamour magic and the purpose of your glamour magic, it's for completing your great work. What is it that you mean by your great work? What are people's great work?
So, it is on one level sort of an alchemical term where you're creating like your Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone or whatever. But it's also just that. My other mentor, Norma, from my Druid Grove, would say you have to want it with a capital W.
Ooh,
and that always sort of stuck with me. And she would always say, but I never wanted anything usually that bad. So, like, she could do all the work, but she didn't need to. She had everything she wanted. But I had this burning desire to be an author, to have my own books, and it took so long. I mean, I joke that I'm a 10-year overnight success story. And just all the blogging, all the annuals, all the, and I know there's lots of people who I find most people that I work with, either as friends or whatever, or, also my friends on the internet, my internet coven, as you said, they either really know what they want, like me, where they can't sleep, they can't, it's like sick with love am I, for whatever this thing is. Or they're like, I don't know. And for a lot of people, that's the most challenging part of this whole process, is that first step.
Yeah.
Do you want that badly? Because you have to do things you never thought you'd have to do, which sounds terrifying. And it should be a little bit, because that's the point of witchcraft. But,
If it makes you feel better, most of that stuff you didn't want to do is probably boring.
Right. And I mean, it's like, people don't turn to the dark arts for, a slightly better job, a slightly better car, a slightly bigger apartment, a slightly nicer boyfriend, whatever. Yeah. You were turning to this because you are willing to literally go into the woods for this. I always think of, the actual musical, the cow is white as milk, the, cape is red as blood, all of that. Like, what are you willing to keep going in there for? Because it is scary.
Yeah.
And really uncertain. What are you willing to do that for?
Yeah.
Because you have to really want it like that.
Want it with a capital W. That's fantastic. So, it's funny because when you describe glamour, it kind of sounds like you could just interchange the word glamour with witchcraft.
In certain ways, yes, because you're going to the real roots of it. But I think the only thing that's really different is glamour affects your outward appearance as well. Witchcraft sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. And that outward appearance is always the sticking point, that thing people hate. They're like, oh, that's not me. Yeah it is. Yeah, it is. Like, I was going to a party with some of my girls, and I remember one of them who's, a butch queer woman of size. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to wear. And she's just like, basically lying on the floor about this. I'm like, you need to, like, be real hot butch about this, put on, like a white tank top, put on, your black pants and some suspenders and polish up your boots real nice.
Yeah.
There's now a place for all of that. Thanks to Orange is the New Black, you can be whatever. Like, the woman who plays Butch on that does these amazing photo shoots of her just looking so super crazy hot.
Yeah, and in beautiful, like, suits and stuff like that. She looks fantastic.
Yes, and she is doing her, and, you need to be so present with who that is for you. Yeah. And it's not about, now you have to dress like your mom, or like, what your friends or spouse or whatever wants you to look like. It's you getting real in touch with what is this and how can you make this happen.
Wow. That's fantastic advice.
Because it's not about spending money. You could do this at Goodwill. You could do this with the shit you have in your closet.
Yeah.
This isn't about buying an Armani dress or, a Chanel purse. This is about who do you want to be? And like I always say, like, there's sort of this template for, women in the office where, there's that very Grace look from Will and Grace or Effie from Skins once she's actually in finance, where it's that suit jacket, that button-down shirt, that pants with the heels and the little silver necklace, and that makes me want to kill myself. There's nothing wrong with it. Lots of women look amazing in it, but it's not me. And I had to learn how to be like basically a frilly cupcake in the office. Yeah. So I didn't want to die every time I stepped foot in there, while still being workplace appropriate. And that takes some thought. And people don't like to think about style for some reason. We're taught that it's frivolous now. And it's not, because if you feel like you are owning the space you're taking up, there is nothing frivolous about that.
Yeah. So do you incorporate anything like magical correspondences or magical work with your, let's say, like your morning routine or your like makeup routine or anything like that?
When I was getting really in touch with my glamour, when I was really stepping into it, I did a lot of hand sanitizers, sigils onto my wrists. Yeah. Because you could see them being placed, but then they would fade. I had a certain Alex and Ani bracelet because that was very fashionable at the time, but also not terribly expensive. It was like $30 for a bracelet that I would routinely lick, to really get that kind of glamour going. And really have that be a focal piece until I really started to get comfortable with it.
Yeah. So what does, I kind of forgot my sentence there. So what is it that glamour magic looks like? Like, what does your practice look like now that you've incorporated realizing your own glamour into it? Have things changed a lot for you? I mean, obviously they've changed a lot. You've written a book, but but I mean, how has your magic changed since you started incorporating, taking your own glamour into account?
In certain ways, it's become more simple. I generally, like, if I'm going out to a certain place where I want to have a certain experience, I will incorporate it into putting on my makeup. Yeah. They called it war paint for a reason, Scents, I have certain scents that correspond with certain effects I'm trying to make. My personal practice at this point is mostly offerings. So I'm all about arranging the presentation, plating for the goddesses. Yeah. And making it very pretty because I feel like it shows a little more effort if it's like, oh, these are cookies from Trader Joe's, but ta-da!
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like to get like fancy bread or fancy cookies or make something, and my altar always like I dust it off.
And I try to be a little neater about things. And when I was stepping into my glamour, I was doing a lot of very specific work with specific goddesses. For various things, and they're sort of my supernatural coven, so to speak, at this point. But I also I do a lot of japa work, which is the mala beads with the Hindu pantheon, and I'll set my intention. Yoga, I also do yoga, and I can actually shut up now during shavasana. That took like 3 years, but
Were you just swearing and huffing and puffing all the way
pretty
through?
Much, I hate shavasana. I hate I'm like, I know we're doing this for this, but I don't want to.
And a lot of times when I do yoga, I'm like, breathe in, and then I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah. I don't like being told what to do. It's Shavasana feels like being told what to do. But I can kind of set my intention and then let Shavasana be the end of the intention of that particular session. But that was not a natural process for me. That was not something that was just happening.
You know what? And honestly, anyone who says that they've loved every second of yoga and they never want to just like punch yoga in the face is lying. They're lying. It's hard.
No, I mean, the only reason I got good at Shavasana was I started taking classes that were too hard for me. So at the end of it, I just wanted to die. Yeah. So I'm like, lying here, doing whatever it is you want me to do is preferable, so I will accept it. You know?
That's so good.
I have a body that is not meant for yoga, man. Like, I have stupid hips, I have stupid boobs, I have, like, you know, fibromyalgia. This is not a situation that's like, oh, you're going to be like a yogini. No.
Downward dog almost chokes me out because I don't have a very good sports bra.
Yes.
So
oh my God.
Like, pushing on my jugular.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but I'm dying.
Yeah, like I'm literally choking to death. I'm cutting off my own airways. What do I do? And it's like the first thing you do, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, they're like, get up there. I'm like, I want to hear what your modifications are. Let's go.
Yeah, where's like a chair or something I can like keep myself up with so I don't suffocate to death?
I need like 6 blocks. Keep it coming.
Yeah. But I mean, that's important because, like, at first I used to feel really bad about that at yoga, that I couldn't just do it the same way skinny people did. And then finally I was like, I'm never going to be able to do it the same way skinny people do it because skinny people have just a different body shape. They can bend stuff that I can't. And once I gave that up, yoga became, like, way more interesting and, like, easier because I just started being like, I don't really care that I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, I'm not interested in what you're doing over here because you're clearly just naturally talented at it. I'm going to huff and puff through my issues over here.
And I'm just going to be happy that I finished and I'm not dead.
Yeah. Like at the end, you know, so the yoga instructor I particularly like, he was like, if you just want to be in like child's pose all class, I've been there. Rock out, do what you need to do. I'm like, you are my girl.
But it's going to be like, corpse pose for me. So
yeah. Like, let's not get crazy, Jen. Let's like take it back. And she's like, thank you yourself for coming. It used to be for me, like, good job, asshole. Now it's like, you did it.
You're still here. You're breathing.
Yay! Cookie brunch, because you don't care.
It's time to go out for ice cream.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think that's important. And I think that's a lot about what you were saying about glamour, is that it's not about what other people are doing or what looks good on other people. It's about how you feel and if you look like you're exuding the right kind of energy here.
Exactly. And I mean, I get that it's really easy to get caught up in everything else. And, you know, I get caught up in trends a little bit too. Speaking of like mermaids, like I don't even know how to say it, spiral, that green algae powder that I was promised would be mermaid water. It is not, it's sludge. But, you know, like, it feels like it's doing something in there. So all right, I'll give it a go, but let's not pretend like this is a magical experience here. So it's okay to indulge in little trends that you're curious about. Like, you shouldn't be like, no, only shallow, stupid people do that. You know, like, no. Like, if you want to wear, like, unicorn nails, knock yourself out.
Just
you know,
do
like,
it. You'll love
give it a go. Yeah, and if you give yourself, like, that's a big part of glamour. Like, give yourself a space to play. I mean, cosmetics were given to us by fallen angels. Everyone can use them. I mean, I remember in the 90s, like, watching My So-Called Life and Ricky very earnestly talking about eyeliner and how the Egyptians wore it and how it was a mark of the gods and favor and all of this. And, like, my little heart broke in two. I'm like, eyeliner's for everyone, man. So is moisturizer.
It's for everybody.
Yeah, don't be limited. Don't be limited. Get in there. And if you hate it, guess what? No one's going to make you do it again.
No one cares. You know what? I love makeup. I have a lot of it, and I love makeup, but I do not love wearing it every single day when I leave the house. I just don't have the energy for it anymore. But no one notices and no one says anything. And when I have makeup on, sometimes people will be like, oh, your makeup looks nice. But literally no one cares that I don't wear makeup.
No, and it shouldn't be an obligation. Again, like, it comes back to being you. Like, I think about, like, Franny Fisher's murder mysteries. Her best friend, Dr. Mac, who's a woman, dresses... Like, first off, they, like, basically do coke and, you know, drink together. So it sounds like a party to me. And, you know, she dresses in men's clothing and she looks amazing. And that was a very 1920s thing to do. It's like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to do me. So we'll figure this out later. And she looks impeccable. And it's like, if you look impeccable and you look like you own it, like... the world is your style oyster, and, you know, you shouldn't be afraid to explore these things and to not worry about what other people think. I mean, they're all going to think something. Everyone's always thinking something about something, you know, like, oh, well, she really half-assed it this morning. And, you know, like, but who cares? You can do it better tomorrow. Not at all. Nobody cares.
No one actually cares. I always thought people cared about if I was wearing makeup or anything, and it turns out people just don't.
I said to a friend, I never wore makeup in my 20s unless I was going to the club, and I wear like eyebrow powder and lipstick and a little bit of fragrance almost every day. And let me tell you, the patriarchy treats me exactly the same.
Yeah.
It is still a shit show. Either way you're doing it, you know, and so figure out what you want. And if you don't want to wear makeup, don't wear it. You know, if you do, do it.
I like the idea of makeup almost as like war paint or a shield. Like, I definitely have like power outfits, and I have makeup styles that I use, or like certain lipsticks that I wear when I want to seem really confident and tough.
Yeah.
Or when I have this galaxy dress, and it's all like super galaxy, like real galaxy with planets and stuff, and dark purple lipstick, and I wear that and people are like, wow, you look great. I'm like, thanks, this is my battle armor today, because I felt really, really like mushy and vulnerable, and this outfit just makes me feel badass and like no one can get to me.
Yeah, I think everyone should have kind of a go-to. Mine is a little black dress from about 10 years ago, bought at Old Navy for, I believe, $30. That no matter where my weight is, whether I'm waxing or wanning, it's great. You know, like, it always looks good. Like, you should always have something that you can turn to like that, because... I mean, I don't know. Wonder Woman is amazing, especially in the new, like, movie. And she's got her bracers and all her stuff going on. Like, wouldn't you want, like, that added level of protection? Sometimes I wear a corset because it makes me feel more safe. Like, I feel like my posture's better. I feel like I'm literally shielded, and that makes me feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. What a good message. I like this. I feel a little bit like Sesame Street, like you said, but I'm like, this is so happy. This is making me really happy. So let's talk a little bit about the book, Glamour Magic. What are people going to find in the book? What kinds of things do you write about? Do you give people spells that they can perform, or is it something more that they should work through?
So here's the thing. I got called in my first mean review, self-help drivel. Whatever. Yeah, you still bought the book.
Yeah, fuck that
guy. But here's the thing. Okay, so I grew up in my 20s that I had a really huge magical local community. So I could harass adultier adults with whatever stupid questions I had at any given moment. So I didn't read a lot of books about the occult during that time. I'm catching up now. But I find, as someone who kind of came to reading occult books a little bit later in life, that I don't always want to do it. Like, it goes back to that yoga. I don't want to be told what to do. Yeah. So while I give you framework in the work, I don't care how you get there.
Yeah.
It's important that you meet the objective. It is not important what you do to get there. Like, it is for you. It's not for me. I don't care if you do, like, the spell on a Thursday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday. Like... because I've never found that to have a big difference in my work.
Yeah.
You know, and I could tell you what I would do, but if it's not part of your practice, you're not going to do it. So you should do something that's part of your practice that's going to get you to that objective. That is the key point. You meet the objective, not how you get there. That journey is yours.
That's brilliant. And that's such great advice. I usually tell people, these are the rules, but you don't have to follow them if you don't want. But if you like them, go ahead and use them. Like,
absolutely.
It's totally up to you. You know, if you're feeling like on a Tuesday, your badass protection magic or something is just not going to do as well as it would, you know, tomorrow or whatever when you're feeling more rested, then just do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people sometimes get very caught up in it should be X or Y way, and I've never found magic to work that way for me.
Yeah.
And if you have a structure you should use, you should keep using it or experiment and try something different, you know, and challenge yourself a little bit. But I don't know, there are points in most books where I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And I kind of wanted to avoid that in my book. I wanted you to get there whatever way was organic for you to get there. But it is still very much rooted in magic. At the same time, there are practical components, because you can be a wishing and a hoping all you want, but if you're not doing the work to go with it and the capital W work to go with it, it's not going to work out. It needs to be a crock and bouche. You know, it has to have the cake, and then it has to have that spun sugar cage around it. You need to do both bits.
Oh, I want cake.
Right?
Yeah, I wish all my magic came with cake. And yeah, that's so true. You can't, you know, do a get me a new job spell and sit on your ass and not hand out a resume. And that's hard for people to understand about magic, I guess. They really want that quick, like, here's a spell, and if you do the spell, you'll get a new boyfriend, and not the, here's how you feel this way or how you conduct this kind of energy. Now make yourself up a spell to try to make your goals come true. I feel like some people don't really want to take that long road.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, maybe for some people it does work that way, but I don't know any of them, you know?
If my magic worked like it did on TV, my life would be so different. Oh,
God, right? Like, who doesn't want the craft to be, like, you know, you got your girlfriends and you're making stuff happen. Yeah. I mean, you need to do all of it, and, like, you need to see how it's going to play out. Like, stuff I was setting a year ago is starting to come about now. And is it always in ways I would have predicted? No, but like, you have to keep it kind of a little bit loose, because sometimes what you think you want for yourself isn't what you actually want. Conversely, just because you're working with spirits and goddesses doesn't mean what they want for you is what you want for you. No. You know, much like your mother, much like your sister, much like whoever.
They've got their own agenda. Yeah.
Absolutely, because they're doing stuff too. So, I mean, they many times do mean the best for you, but that doesn't mean you're going to be in line with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. So while everyone is, you know, already on Amazon buying the book and just waiting for the shipping, what kind of stuff can witches do right now to kind of embrace their glamour or add more glamour into their magic?
Occupy the space you stand in. That is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Also, when you're getting really good with your style, I recommend taking a little Google tour of Kelly Catrone, who is, I think, only vaguely witchy, but she has a go fuck yourself face that you need to perfect, because she is a fashion maven. She tells everyone what to do in many parts of that industry, but she does minimal hair, minimal makeup. She always wears black, and she's telling them what to do. So, like, you need to practice that so you can tell other people what to do and not have to worry about stepping into something maybe you're not quite there with yet.
Oh my God, that's incredible, because I have the opposite of bitch face. I have like inappropriately chronic nice face, and
Yeah, no, you need to practice your go fuck yourself face.
Yeah,
you know?
I really do, because that's what I think all the time is just go fuck yourself.
And then people are like, oh, you just seem so nice. No. Oh. And I find the more you seem like you can occupy the space you're taking, I would say, especially to our femme, female, and non-binary witches, if there is a local bar and you drink, or you're okay being at a bar, having a club soda, whatever your thing is, go there on an afternoon if you feel safe there, and feel what it feels like to be there alone and taking up that space, because you'll see a lot of dudes there who are fine with it. They're eating, they're watching the sports, they're doing whatever they're doing, and we're taught nice girls don't do that. Yeah. And when you can get comfortable with that, it gets so much easier to take up space.
Yeah. That's incredible advice. I mean, don't get shit-faced every time you do that.
No, 1 or 2 drinks. Ideally, a place that serves food. Don't get crazy.
Yeah. Don't use the drinking to make that easier every time. But
no. But you want to have a nice, lunch and like a martini, and then just comfortable with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a beer. Talk to the bartender. But yeah, that's actually really incredible advice. I actually I struggle a lot with mental illness, and this year I got diagnosed, and I remember before my mental illness took over, I was really comfortable going places by myself, and like not just like on vacation by myself, which I do regularly, but like I was comfortable going to the bar and having a couple of drinks or seeing a movie or whatever. Like I just didn't think about it. I went wherever I wanted, and that is so not true now, and I'm often like, I have to push myself to go into places, and it's something that you have to get used to, and that takes a little bit of courage at first because you're expecting the worst, but that freedom to just go wherever you want by yourself is like, it's so empowering. And
that happens to me with my anxiety issues. Like, I'll be cool with all this for a while, and then like if I'm in book writing hermit mode, I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, so I'm not even gonna walk to the corner store. I'm fine.
Right. I'll figure it out with what I've got in the pantry. I think I see some like leftover flour. I'm sure it's great.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, if the bar thing is too scary, a matinee is a good start.
Yeah.
Like, if you need like a pre-rec to that, try a matinee first, then try a bar.
Or like a coffee shop, a cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Someplace where people gather. Yeah, that's incredible advice. That's something I used to be really good at, and I'm working on again now, because it's difficult, but I remember that feeling of like, I can go anywhere I want. I don't need to wait for somebody else. And that was like, I felt like a very glamorous person around that time. So that's actually that's incredible advice.
Yeah, because like I find there's something about that self-confidence and stuff. When I'm not good doing that, I'm usually not feeling terribly glamorous.
Yeah.
When I'm struggling with my various issues. But as much as you can kind of try to make yourself to step outside your comfort zone a little bit in little steps, it helps. Even if it's just sitting at Starbucks for 10 minutes, try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah, it does wonders. Oh, that's wonderful advice. So is there anything else you wanted to tell people about glamour magic? Anything here I didn't touch on?
No, I think we did a really good overview. Just that there's a lot of components to it, and it's for everyone. And if I was going to sum it up in a sentence, I would say beauty is and glamour does.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Because you can change beauty. It's cultural markers. It's your facial symmetry. It's static, but you can mess with glamour, and that's what makes it really fun.
That's so much fun. I'm really excited for the book Extra Hard now.
Yay!
We're definitely going to be doing it in our book club, though I'm not sure exactly which month. So because October has got to be something spooky.
Oh, well, totally. You need to be like, doing something with ancestors and the dead and, all sorts of stuff like that.
I gotta do that. So I'm really thinking in November or December, but I'm really, really excited about Glamour Magic. We're definitely going to be doing it in the book club because this is something that I am all about. This is like what magic is to me. Like, my main goal is to just feel really glamorous in myself and use my magic to help me, accomplish those goals and like become that person that I really want to be. And it's so exciting to, see it all in one place right there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys do get to it for November, December, that's fantastic because that's when a lot of people want to make changes. And this is like a great platform to do that.
Ooh, I love making changes, especially with my magic. It's fun.
Me too. Burn it all down.
Yeah. Whatever, man. I'll throw all of this in a bin and I'll pull out all different stuff. Let's try this. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? I used to hate that. I used to hate change, and now I'm
Me
like, whatever,
too.
let's throw it all out.
Me too. I'm like, let's, throw it all into the river. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I remember the days when I was like a borderline hoarder, and now I'm just like, I don't need any of my possessions, whatever.
Like, I don't need to live with any of this.
Yeah, and like, I'll just change my whole style. Like, whatever, fuck it. It's over.
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay, so hold on, let me check my notes. Let's double check. I think that was about everything I had for you.
Good. I feel like we covered great ground.
We covered kind of a lot of stuff in an hour.
Hooray! And if you wanted to add something to that, I have a free class I did called New Year, New You, and it takes you also through a bunch of stuff. So if people really want to rock their brains, like at a bunch of stuff at once, it's meant to be done around that time of year. Like they say November's the best time to start that. December's a little, you don't want to get caught up. Yeah, you don't want to get caught up also. And everyone else is like, no, really, I'm going to like lose 30 pounds this year.
I'm going to do it by drinking this weird juice I bought on the internet. Yeah.
It seems totally legit.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. So it's just through my blog, and that's something adjunct to kind of add a little more to it.
That's fantastic. Man, by this time next year, we're going to have a whole bunch of glamorous witches out there getting ready to rock this bitch.
Yeah, we're going to be like burning the place down, man.
You know what? Some places kind of seem like they need to be burned down right now.
Oh, I'm with you. I am so with you.
Yeah, it's been a really wild weekend.
It really has.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on the show, Deb. This was an awesome conversation.
I love it. I've had such a great time. We definitely have to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much again to Deb for coming on to the show and talking to us about Glamour Magic. If you want to find out more about Deb, you can check out her website at charmedfinishingschool.com. She's got a great blog there as well. So while you're waiting for your book to show up in the mail, because I know you've already ordered it from Amazon or directly from Llewellyn, I'm sure of it after this interview, you can find her blog there, and she's got some really, really great blog posts that I think you guys would really, really like. Two of my favorites that she's got up right now, one is called On Covens and Claws, which is kind of about, it's a modern take on covens and coven kind of culture. And she's got a new one called Hexing as Social Change, which just went up. And they're both really, really amazing, so definitely check them out. Like I said earlier, I want to extend sincere thanks to everyone who is counter-protesting right now, and I hope you all stay safe. Rest in peace to those who passed away as a result of these white supremacist demonstrations. And my heart really goes out to all the parents and families who saw their loved ones on TV marching with Nazis and had to make that difficult decision to kick those loved ones out of their lives. It's just, we're going through a lot of really hard stuff right now, but there's a lot of people out there that are really trying to do something good and are sacrificing a lot to make that happen. And I'm really grateful for all those people. You know, even if it's people like me and Deb who do our best work by talking to other people and inspiring other people, I'm really grateful that it's, for lack of a better term, working. Keep fighting, guys. And use your own glamour to start a world revolution and to dominate the world if that's what you're into. Thank you so much for listening to the Fat Feminist Witch podcast. I've got a new episode of Seeker's Corner, which is my video live show on Facebook, and that's going to be tomorrow, and I'm going to be talking about the upcoming solar eclipse. So don't miss that. Visit my Facebook page, The Fat Feminist Witch, on Facebook. You can also find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, and especially Instagram. It's my favorite. So find me all those places. Check out Seeker's Corner tomorrow and order Glamour Magic by Deborah Castellano from Llewellyn or from Amazon, or request it at your local metaphysical store. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend, everybody. Stay magical and stay safe.